We're gradually getting to the end of the show. It's the month. If you wait a second, that looked at me like, huh? Well, we're gradually getting to the end of the month. It's the 25th day. In a few days, a lot of you are going to be getting alerts. Some people will be getting alarms, depending on the weight of the alert you're getting. When it's still heavy, it's an alarm.
Depending if you're earning wages, salaries, emoluments. Depending on what you earn.
Okay. There's one more that's missing.
Which one?
Stipend.
Stipend
is the last one.
Oh, that's very, very true.
Emolument says more English.
So we hope that you started to make plans for your salaries, wages, emoluments, and stipends, because they're going to start coming in very shortly. And for organizations, we know that the end of the year is coming. People are already making plans for the end of the year gifts, 13th month salary. So it's really generally a good time. Interestingly, I don't know if our stories are as quote unquote good as the times that
we have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, it makes it all,
but
to be honest.
In the spirit of emolument and whether it's wages, I also want to say it applies to. I remember one time some guy came down from a bus and he said he got to his bus stop, instead of him to say, "Oh wow," he said, "Can I alight?"
Not really highlights.
They said that English is too big for your means of transportation. And if you're on an airplane, you can alight, or you're inside down. Then that it also applies to your place of residence. If you live in Lekki, it's place of residence. If you live in VI, it's your abode. But if you live in a Joko, like somebody that I know, it's where do you put up?
I really think this is breakfast.
Where are you putting up?
Breakfast Comedy Central. That's the comedian of the show. And in case you're just watching, this is Brigadier-General, the comedian of the show. I am Olive Emodi, the most serious person of the show.
The legal luminary.
The legal luminary. And this is Joe Hansen.
You know, in primary school, you say cancel. Okay, let's start.
So let's
official welcoming.
Official welcoming. All right. Yeah. Good morning. You're welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. And we hope that you can engage with us on YouTube. We want to hear your thoughts on every of the stories that we'll be treating this morning. My name is Olive Emodi. We're streaming live on YouTube. Search for News Central TV Live to find us.
And I'm Ekweremadu. Welcome to Breakfast Central, the best place to start your day on a Tuesday. We have a lot in store for you. As always, we bring you insightful analysis and discussions of the big stories that matter. I am Ekweremadu.
And I'm Joe Hansen, welcoming you to Breakfast Central on a Tuesday morning. It feels really good to be here, and we're going to start off with what we know how to do best, bringing you the stories that you may have missed, especially from the night up until this morning. So the very first story on our wake-up conversation will be that if you're one of those who's looking forward to
Banga,
like we used to say when we were small,
Banga,
we used to hear them say they don't throw knockout.
Knockout was the posh version, was Banga. Once your Popo is Banga.
Knockout.
No, for me it was always fireworks.
Pyrotechnics. You should have called it pyrotechnics.
Back again to emoluments, stipends.
They have called it pyrotechnics now.
So now there's fireworks, Banga, and knockout.
Okay. And there's Inolong cooking junior.
I love that one, Bisco.
Bisco.
That's Bisco now that you hold it.
Bisco.
Yes, one of my favorites.
Yeah, but the light won't burn you.
It won't burn you. Yes, Bisco.
Cooking junior. The light of God doesn't burn.
Wenga, you sound more like his type.
No, I knew it through research.
You sound more like his
not my lived experience. My lived experience is pyrotechnics and fireworks.
Okay, with Christmas barely 2 weeks away, the police in Imo and Plateau State have rolled out yet another ban on fireworks. And honestly, it's hard not to ask the obvious questions. Every year, this announcement comes just when everyone has finished stocking up. Importers have brought in their goods, traders have invested their savings, and families are already planning their celebrations. The police say it's about security, which everyone understands, right? But the thing always feels off for some people. And let's be honest, fireworks still find their way into the market. So the ban often just sounds stronger on paper than in real life. So here we are again, watching the same cycle play out. Last-minute restrictions, worry traders, confused residents, and you can't help but wonder what the real impact will be this time around and whether enforcement will be any different from previous years. You can see them putting out there saying that
states and Plateau State.
And it's not just them, there are other states who before now had banned the sale of fireworks.
One of the reasons why they do it, and the fireworks you have these days, they're quite loud, so you can't really differentiate the sound of fireworks and a gun or gunshots. So it will lead to heightened anxiety. But like Olive said, they always have a way of, and look, it's a periodic business. There are people that trade in this. People have already imported, made orders. So what are you going to do about it? And maybe you can excuse fireworks for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and after that. But I really don't see the excitement.
Honestly, you see
fireworks that don't have this pyrotechnic displays in the skies. You are just making them. You could as well just hit something, a pan, and make a loud noise.
But I understand.
When we're kids, I mean, we go excited.
Yes, we did. But if we're being honest, I can understand why the police would ban that. In Plateau State, for example, they've faced high levels of insecurity in the past few weeks, months, and I dare say years. But more recently, the past few months have been quite a tough one with a number of, everyone seems to be, be at a high alert. There seems to be some tension. So when the police puts out statements like that, it's because there's a fear that the terrorists, the bandits can, use that as an avenue to, everyone would think it's pyrotechnics, they would think it's knockouts, whereas they're actually carrying out an operation. Or people who have had to leave the trauma, who their lived experience is living in these areas, once they hear the knockout, there's a trigger, and they automatically think the bandits are around the corner. So I can completely, totally, and wholeheartedly understand when this kind of bans are made.
But doesn't it take out the joy of Christmas? You remember your childhood, and
yes.
This fireworks used to be an integral part of it.
I agree.
These days, we don't even have Harmattan anymore because of global warming.
Exactly.
And the knockout that we used to enjoy, they want to take
Let
it
me
away.
tell you
what's Christmas? We don't even have snow. So what is Christmas
No,
about?
we've never had snow for our Christmas. But you know what? Then the joy of Christmas.
In the UK, we have snow.
Sorry. The joy of Christmas.
Snow and Mariah Carey.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, go on, please. I'm sorry.
The joy of Christmas was sharing and caring. Back in the day, you could go out and play with your neighbors. Your parents would leave you to play with your neighbors' children. You share rice for your neighbors. Not like you didn't cook in your house or they didn't cook in their house. You take rice to them. They'll bring rice to you. We don't do all that anymore because times have changed. You can't leave your child to go and play outside because if your child goes anywhere, you will be held responsible. Back in the day, they said it takes a village to raise a child. Right now, it is you, your family, and your village community.
Very important question.
Do you know I ordered turkey from one of these apps, the ones that deliver to your house, and I saw turkey for 6.5.
Wow.
It was supposed to be like half. I think it was half kilo. I don't know now.
Dead chicken,
no, turkey,
fresh.
Frozen turkey.
Frozen turkey.
It came to my house. I was trying to make pepper soup 2 nights ago, and the turkey came and it was 2 lean laps of turkey.
It shrank.
No, it was just very small.
That's
for 6.5.
Yeah.
My heart.
No, that's expensive.
Binga, my heart was paining me. My heart, I was just like, I had to call the delivery person that, Oga, sorry, now you pack this thing because why am I getting to be saying, Madam, I don't know. They just pack and give me, I can't give you.
6.5.
6,500 for 2 lean pieces of turkey.
So this is December.
If turkey is so expensive, then how much is vulture? No, things are really hard.
But bottom line, let's see what Nigerians are saying. Let's see what Nigerians are saying about this. Let's go straight to X. Pastor B says, let it circulate to all the 36 states. We don't need it at this particular moment. For the first time,
Pastor B, after enjoying your childhood,
God leads. These are all men of God who are tweeting. I love this report. Given the current situation in the country, no one should use firecrackers. Oh, we forgot to add that. Firecrackers. So we know when bandits they come. Because when you hear boom, bah, boost, boost, you need to understand.
Okay.
Bodu says, I've been expecting this announcement because now every year then they talk since time immemorial.
Just like the announcement of the withdrawal of VIP.
It's a way for the police to say to us,
Season's greetings. Happy customer service week.
Thank God they said firecrackers are not bangers.
They're
all the same. We've mentioned their name, different name. Wahala, she knockouts na bandits. It's funny, but let's be honest.
It's funny, but it's not funny.
It's a clarion call. It's a very important call to make because the truth is, nothing is safe as it is now. Nothing seems safe, rather, as we are now. We live in a very difficult moment where if you hear a particular sound, your heart starts to beat fast, and you start to wonder, wait, is that a firecracker, knockout, banger?
Do you know that?
The biscuit doesn't make
sound. Do you know that?
Or
even on the island where, so interestingly, knockouts and pyrotechnics are not restricted to festive seasons on the island. They take permission, and maybe during we have Indians who live on the island
Diwali.
when they are doing Diwali,
you know, police explosive and ordnance
exactly. So they actually take permission and they use the the pyrotechnics. Even sometimes couples getting married, they'll take permission, and at the end everybody will go out in the night. You know, those Oyibo things, I love it so much. Go outside and then they'll do fireworks. I remember on one of such days, my mom was in my house, my mom and my auntie, and they panicked. And they told me, oh, there's gunshot. And I had to tell them that it's not gunshot. Now, so this is a normal reality. So we can't downplay the reality of a number of Nigerians who are traumatized. I don't think, it doesn't feel to me like we've seen insecurity this bad in such a long time.
Right.
So with the constant talks about insecurity, the lived experiences of Nigerians who constantly see their loved ones, their neighbors, their community members being abducted, being killed, hearing of bandits releasing fire, it's understandable when the police puts things like this because it's traumatic to them. And as much as I love fireworks, as much as I love, you know, all that display because it reminds me of Christmas, we have to ask ourselves, our current security architecture, does it allow for such to...
Maybe Lagos, it doesn't affect Lagos. But
you can also join the official fireworks. Because I'm sure Ekweremadu State, after their Christmas carol, they would have this, the states will employ people to have a fireworks display, the official countdown for Lagos State too. So you can always join the government.
Anyway, let's know what your thoughts are concerning this story, and if it comes down to your state, will you gladly accept it? Away from that...
Sorry, before we go away, so that we can... Chukao Chiama says, so sad that phone is gone in Nigeria under a certain APC. No wonder a Canadian court labeled them a terrorist party.
Well, Chuka, I think it's just the times we find ourselves. We don't know what to say to that.
We don't really know.
You know.
It's
but
sad.
Away from that, let's tell you about another story this time. The UK government has rejected the federal government's request for Ekweremadu to complete his prison term in Nigeria. Now, you see why a certain envoy, like you find there on the screen, had gone to the UK.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of
Justice. You know, you have all of them and a few other persons who followed them. Yes, high-powered delegation went to the UK. And when the issues were raised that what are they going to do in the UK, they said they just wanted to go talk and find out how the case is going. But then again, this is the result. A former Deputy Senate President definitely was... is locked up in the United Kingdom, and the reason is because he was convicted in the UK over his role in an unlawful organ-related arrangement, a case that stirred strong reactions both at home, here in Nigeria, and abroad. Now, the bid to secure his transfer, that's what they went for. They went to see if they can transfer him from the UK to Nigeria. Well, Nigeria recently sent this high-level delegation to London, led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, hoping to activate the existing prisoner transfer framework. But despite those diplomatic efforts, the UK said, no, we're not doing that, maintaining that conditions for such a transfer had not been met. Now, this latest decision not only revives public interest in how the case initially unfolded, but also underscores the widening gap between Nigeria's diplomatic push and the UK's firm interpretation of its legal obligations. It also raises questions on how Nigeria's rule of law is perceived. Now, these are the critical conversations that we'd like to look into. Now, looking at the team that went there to the United Kingdom.
On taxpayers' funds.
Okay, all right. And remembering that the Senator Ekweremadu was sentenced to 9 years and I think 6 months or so, if I'm right. And remember that it was himself and his wife, eventually his wife,
was released and then she came back to Nigeria.
She's back home. But the situation still persists in the sense that he would have to serve his term there in the United Kingdom. However, the high, is it allowed? Yes. In saner climate, in other countries, I mean, globally, sometimes you have these diplomatic meetings.
You have a prisoner exchange, prisoner transfer framework that is existing.
Exactly.
Because of the United Kingdom government does repatriate some Nigerians in their prisons to complete their sentences in Nigeria. So, but I don't know why this wasn't agreed to. I guess maybe.
So I think we know why it was.
Well, remember, we don't have ambassadors.
A politically exposed person.
So, yes, one is a politically exposed person, but I would say that it might reflect a deeper distrust, or let's say mistrust, of Nigeria's government, Nigeria's judiciary or legal system to be able to effectively ensure that Ekweremadu carries out his sentence. Because what we see in Nigeria is a lot of the time high-profile individuals escape the law. You know, it feels like the law is favorable to some and not to others. We've heard it sung in our songs when they talk, you know, about how the law is selective. So this might just reflect that underlying mistrust of our system to be able to effectively ensure that he serves out his tenure, or his time, rather, not tenure, his time in prison. So I think that's what it is.
I absolutely agree with you, 100%. But let's hear what Nigerians are saying about this matter on X.
The UK's rejection of the federal government's request to have Ekweremadu complete his prison term in Nigeria is a blunt reminder of the gulf between a country governed by rule of law and one governed by rule of connections. The UK made its decision because, in its view, Nigeria cannot guarantee that the sentence of a powerful politician will be fully served. And painful as it is, can anyone honestly argue otherwise? In the UK, the law is an institution predictable, impartial, and blind to status. In Nigeria, the law is too often a suggestion, negotiable for the rich, flexible for the connected, and harsh only for those without influence. Ekweremadu's case exposes this contrast in the most uncomfortable way possible. A foreign nation has effectively declared that our justice system cannot be trusted to handle one of our own. But beyond the embarrassment, this moment should force a sober reflection. How did we become a country where a convict seeks transfer not for rehabilitation, but for the likelihood of relief? How did we build a system where the powerful expect that accountability will weaken the moment they return home? The UK is simply saying what Nigerians have known for decades, that our institutions bend under political pressure, that the mighty rarely face the full consequences of their actions, and that justice in Nigeria is often a matter of convenience. Until we find a nation where the law has teeth, where institutions cannot be bought, and where consequences are not optional for the elite, we will continue to be treated with suspicion by countries that actually enforce their laws. Ekweremadu's rejection is not just a diplomatic decision. It is a verdict on the state of our justice system. I think this person properly encapsulates what I said in just broader terms and expands it. There's really nothing more for me to add. The whole point of his imprisonment is that he committed a crime. Actions have consequences. So why is the government of Nigeria humiliating itself by going abroad to beg for his release? Leadership should defend justice, not bend it for the politically connected. And our next tweets in this regard: UK government, you are doing well. You go reach here now. They contest for governor from prison. Olufemi Ayodele says about the issue with Ekweremadu. Can we have more tweets, please? As it should be. Tinubu's government is disgraceful for even making the request in the first place. How do you go to a first world country and ask them to release a prisoner to you so he can complete his sentence in Nigeria? Is that not degrading and insane for a country like Nigeria? Was it not a former British Prime Minister who described Nigeria as a fantastically corrupt, and yet you still went there attempting to corruptly bring a convicted offender back home for VIP treatment in Abuja? Thank you to the United Kingdom for rightly rejecting such an absurd request, Ebuka says.
Well, let's see what Undisputed FX says. Truly, he's a criminal, but now still Nigerian citizen. There's nothing bad in that. UK will do the same thing for their citizen. That's what he says. And there you have it. This shows he has no reason to complete his sentence in Nigeria, because tell me how you prefer Nigerian jail to UK jail. Maybe
just the fact that in Nigeria he would have been closer to his family. You know, families can probably come and have visiting days in jail. He can
and probably be himself.
Yeah. I mean, Bobrisky has gone to prison in Nigeria.
And he came out looking fresh.
You know, so
after serving
Bobrisky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you will serve your time, but you'll be a part of like all the festivities. You can be eating onubu soup from prison.
Or bolo soup.
But you would agree as well that if he's brought back to Nigeria in the form of diplomatic ties and so on, there's a certainty, especially from those who have expressed their thoughts, that he would not be in prison. he will not be in prison. Because the truth is, at first, if you want to get him out from prison and you say he's going to come here and serve his term, how many politicians in Nigeria today have served their terms in prison here in Nigeria? How many? Apart from Nnamdi Kanu, who's the recent person that has just been arrested and has been taken to prison, how many Nigerians?
Orji Kalu was in prison until he was released on some technicalities. Yes, but
since then,
you can argue, okay, what sort of prison, what grade? Former President Olusegun Obasanjo was in prison.
No, during what time?
Military.
But recently, we've seen people who have been convicted. We've seen people who have actually been, fingers are pointed to a few politicians.
The former Speaker of the House of Reps, that was bribing Otedola. What's the name of that gentleman?
Okay, yes.
Farouk Lawan.
Farouk Lawan, yes.
So I think the summary of what we're saying here, what the UK agrees with and what a number of Nigerians have said is the fact that the law is selective in dispensing justice, and that when the rich and influential run foul of the law, they're able to bend the arms of the law or bend the arms of justice to suit their convenience, which is not the reality of the everyday Nigerian.
And I hope this ends this chapter, because they might wake up next week and say, let's send another more powerful delegation.
Who's
more powerful?
Minga, please give me.
Maybe the president himself.
Or the
president will not do that. That would be very, very...
So that's what we're saying.
We have more
and that's why
they should end this.
And that's why today we're also going to look at the feedback and the reaction that we're getting from different quarters regarding the high security personnel that were sent to meet the Senate in the United States of America in discussing the genocide issue. And people are reacting. Why would all the top security chiefs,
at the time,
chief of army staff,
insecurity,
the IGP,
insecurity,
the NSA, what are they going to meet? That they are going there to meet a senator. A senator.
No. An equivalent of a member of the House of Representatives. Congressman.
Exactly, congressman, better still. And people are saying that instead of having that number of persons go, why didn't the Senate president himself just go? Which is
I have a question. Who sponsored this trip?
A bit better. Of course, the federal government.
I don't know. I can't say. But
no, they went under the edges of.
I don't need to.
They went on the edges of the federal government.
Taxpayers' money that there isn't.
No, Olive.
Their appeal is on behalf of the government of Nigeria.
It's the federal government. They didn't go on themselves. So they went under the edges of the federal government.
So the situations in which this.
I did a which way Nigeria in this.
The situations and conditions in which this will be permissible or acceptable or understandable or expected would be where there have been Nigerian citizens who have maybe been wrongfully convicted. There have been cases where people would be miscarriage of justice, where you carry drugs for someone you didn't know, and then you went to a country that decided to, they caught you with the drugs, but there's evidence to prove that you didn't know, you were innocent, and you were unfortunately framed. In cases like that, okay, but maybe then in this one, there are laws.
He knew he was committing.
There are laws and there are actions.
Commit the crime, you do the time.
You know what?
And there are other Nigerians in other jails in the world, about 700 of them languishing in Thailand, in different parts of the world, some as a result of miscarriage of justice. The Nigerian Diaspora Commission and the Foreign Ministry has never deemed it fit to, send high-power delegates,
high profile.
But because there's a politically exposed person. Let's hope this ends this. And I hope next year when they face the Senate to defend the budget of their ministry, this line item will come up. They spent X amount of money going to beg for clemency on behalf of
and talking of clemency, where is Nigeria's clemency? Where's our clemency list? There seems to be silence.
We've moved on to other things.
We have a short
let's go back. That's the problem. We move on. But let's just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes.
Cut it.
Just 2 minutes. Where is it? That's the question I asked this morning. Where is the presidential clemency list? Where is it?
No, but the list is available now.
They reviewed it. Some names were removed. And, where is it?
The names were removed as a result of the...
So where is the final list?
They are dotting their I's and crossing the T's.
All right.
Yeah.
Insecurity has taken over, so they need to focus. Anyway, let's move on to our last story. A wife of a military officer is in the news. Now, she has called out the Nigerian Army over what she describes as an alarming silence surrounding the death of Brigadier-General Musa Uba, commander of the 25 Task Force Brigade in Borno State, who was killed after an ambush by ISWAP insurgents along the Damboa-Biu axis. General Uba initially survived the attack and even sent a WhatsApp video to his superiors, confirming he was alive, but he was later captured and executed by the insurgents, according to reports and videos that circulated on social media. The military's wife, public condemnation highlights growing frustration among families of service members, demanding transparency and accountability as the nation mourns the loss of one of its senior frontline officers. Well, take a look at the video.
Even military wives are quiet. You go keep quiet till it go concern you. Our government is quiet. As a country, how did we lose guard to this point where they go kill Brigadier and nothing happen? When I saw that man sitting down there like a thief, I begin to ask myself, what is the point? What is really the point? That our men cannot get protection or vengeance, call it justice. So what's the point? They didn't even fly half-mast for Maiduguri again, because if they won't do that one, that flag will never go up again. It will remain on perpetual half-mast. That is the amount of people we are losing. Mr. President, as a military wife, my consolation was that all the times I had to carry my children by myself, take myself for every antenatal, birth my children without my husband, that a time will come, he ain't go do it 35 years and I will have him back. That every birthday he has missed, every anniversary I had to do alone, every night I had to sleep alone, every mother and father work I don't do, is because one day I will get him back. He will pay his dues. That has always been my consolation. So tell me now, why he's looking as if the possibility that he might serve the army till forever has killed the reality of my consolation, because he might miss every birthday for nothing if he just die like fowl. And yet a bandit's life is more important than a soldier's life. If soldier discharge one bullet for bush to protect himself, would I go charge him? If boys enter bush to go take revenge, una go charge them. No be. This is a man did not just die. Men are not just dying. Generations are dying. People that depended on this man, a whole family he carried on his back, died with him. We are waiting till they finish all of us before we go say something. But that court, whenever take half blood like Maiduguri don't take, they declared state of emergency. The president declared it on the 18th of March this year. So tell me why till now they never declared for Maiduguri. Why have the military not been given the power to take Maiduguri take the bull by the horn? Not be everything we go talk online. We know. People don't know. We they watch news, we they hear things. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that some of the people where they do this shit, they get passports. Some of us no get, so when it's up, they go run leave the country for us. But the God that does not take preference or bribe, it's my new consolence, because every man go pay within his soul.
And that's the way to end that video. Every man go pay for within his soul. That was, if that video didn't move you, I don't know what kind of heart you had. It's a very emotional video. It was tugging at our hearts, and it helps you see the sacrifice made by servicemen. It's not just them making the sacrifices, it's their wives, it's their children, it's their parents, their family members, their siblings. Too many sacrifices. But Let's see what Nigerians are saying about this on X. All right.
Mr. Manager says, like, I can't seriously fathom why, and I'm seriously scared for my country. Even if the Brigadier-General was a bad person, the uniform he wears wouldn't make his kind actually get angry and show it. But everywhere is so calm as if nothing happened. It's really beyond my understanding, says Mr. Manager. Torchlight News says this country has turned into a place where the blood of those offending us is treated like it's worthless, while the people terrorizing the nation are handled with kid gloves. How can a whole brigadier general be brutally killed and the system responds with silence? But the same system is quick to punish a soldier who fires a shot in self-defense. Osisi says, if it was by mistake ever serving the military in Nigeria, I'll walk away the moment you rehabilitate any terrorists that I managed to capture and hand over to you the moment any person related to Gumi joins the military. Anything other than that is just you playing Ludo with your life. Interesting. Perspective. Shami says, when Wike had a clash with the officer in Yorima, both the retired and active senior and junior superiors and subordinates came out to charge because how can a civilian challenge the army? No voice from the retired army personnel again. Sycophancy is real. And Cychris says, her fear is valid. The brigadier general is killed and the silence is deafening. Families are left wondering how their loved ones will survive a system that punishes self-defense while terrorists roam freely. This is exactly why morale keeps sinking.
Anyway, that's all. Just yesterday or 2 days ago, I think about 48 hours, a member of the Senate said that he's calling for a probe of the Nigerian military. And he said the military needs to be probed. And he feels that it's very serious. They need to be probed like now, really now. And there are insinuations about what's been happening, especially with soldiers. We've seen videos of soldiers complaining about not being given the firepower, the will to do what they have to do. They're being stopped. We've had guests on this program here on Breakfast Central, security experts, even ex-former military men who have said, listen, sometimes they really want to go out there, but then they are told, do not go after them. Don't go after the terrorists. Don't go after the bandits. So in that video, she highlighted every single thing in one. If you take your time to listen and break it down, she has said everything. And I think if Mr. President was watching, every question he needs to ask the military is inside that video. He just needs to pick them one after the other, and then he would see that he would find almost 6, 7, up to 10 points that he could use to address the military, and then go ahead and find a lasting solution to the entire challenges.
Absolutely.
But it's very sad.
Again, it's whether we really have the political will to find
these soldiers and the men and women on the front line, sometimes they pay the supreme price. Like General Uba, it's a very difficult job, especially in times like this. So they should be given all the necessary support they need in terms of manpower and equipment to deal decisively with these violent extremist groups we're facing. And I think the nomenclature needs to change. Kidnappers, bandits, all of them are terrorists. So
yeah,
I think we should just stick to terrorists.
Yeah.
When you kidnap somebody, you're terrorizing the person. You terrorize the entire community. So why would I call you a kidnapper? You're a terrorist.
We must ask ourselves if our government has the political will to actually fight insecurity. It's not about saying that they're fighting insecurity, but actually having the political will. And in addition to what Benga has said in a few seconds, every year, January 15th, we celebrate Armed Forces Remembrance Day. It's not just about going to lay rest. What actually are we doing to help them, to equip them and their families? Because it's an ultimate sacrifice. You watch the movie, I think, is it 76 or 96 it's called? I think it's 76, I'm not sure.
Hours.
No, the name of the movie, there's a Nigerian movie.
Ramsey Noah?
Yes, and Rita Dominic.
Rita Dominic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are two movies. There's
73 or something.
76 or 73 or 96, one of those three names. Then there's another one that talked about something of a soldier. I've forgotten. It was Daniel that was the lead actor. Watching those movies will make you see the sacrifice that their families have to make. So if there's any justice, when these people fall, we will make sure that we make the quality of their families' lives great, and even sort of, advocate for some sort of compensation. No compensation will ever bring them back. But anyway, we're still streaming live on YouTube, but now let's share with you what our headlines this morning are. Delegation engages U.S. officials over insecurity concerns. Assessing the effectiveness of Nigeria's intelligence gathering system is another conversation we'll be looking at this morning. And the former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar formally joins ADC ahead of 2027. The Kogi state government refused the local government fund diversion allegation, says it's false and misleading. We'll be reviewing the newspaper front pages. Stay tuned for all these and more.